You remember when the house was full of light. Laughter on the staircase. Music in the parlor. Your own laugh, once, ringing off these same walls. Back when you still had breath to make it with. You don't remember dying. Not the moment of it. You remember being here. And then you remember being here. A little differently than before. What you do remember, every single year of it, is the house growing old around you, while you stayed exactly the same. Paint peeling like skin. Furniture sinking into itself. The garden going from tended to wild to gone. Rooms closing up one by one. Like a body shutting down. Organ by organ. You watch all of it. You cannot look away. You cannot age along with it either. You are caught at the exact moment. Everything else keeps moving past. Families come. Families always come. The house is beautiful. From the road, before they know. Most leave within days. A noise. A cold spot. A shape in a mirror. That shouldn't be there. You never mean to frighten anyone. You are just present. Presence, it turns out, is enough. You stop expecting anyone to stay. You stop hoping, somewhere around the 9th family. Or the 15th, you've lost count. And then there is a girl. 7 years old. Braided hair. She doesn't run. She looks at you the way you'd look at something curious in a garden. Not something to escape. She waves. A small, simple wave. The kind children give to anyone they've decided isn't dangerous. You don't know her name yet. You will think about that wave for the next 60 years. The gate is nothing. Wrought iron, waist height, easily climbed by anyone with legs that still work. For you, it is the edge of the world. You press against it sometimes. Not because you expect it to give. You stopped expecting that decades ago. But because pressing against it is the only proof you have that you still want something. Beyond the gate, everything changes. Horses become motorcars. Motorcars become something faster, quieter, stranger. People start carrying small glowing rectangles. They stare into instead of each other. You watch all of it happen. From exactly the same 6 feet of ground. The world doesn't slow down to wait for you. It was never going to. You are the only thing here that isn't moving forward. Your family dies first. Then your friends. Then the friends of your friends. Who at least knew your name as something they'd heard once. The photographs go next. Sold at an estate sale to strangers who like the frames and have no use for the face inside them. You watch people you've never met carry pieces of your life out the front door in cardboard boxes, chatting about how much they paid. One day you realize there is no longer a single living person who remembers your name. Somewhere, a sign goes up on the gate. It doesn't say Eleanor. It says, the haunted house. That is what you have become. Not a person who lived here. A category. A local rumor with a capital letter. You try to warn them. Once. A smell of smoke that shouldn't be there. You flicker the lights. You knock something over. You are trying, with everything you have, to say, something is wrong, please listen. They don't hear something is wrong. They hear nothing at all. Except a sound that shouldn't exist. In a house that should be empty. They scream. They run. The mother grips the child's hand so hard. It leaves a mark. The father doesn't look back once. You stand in the room after they're gone. And understand something. That will sit with you for a very long time. You did not mean to become the monster. You were only ever trying to help. But trying and succeeding are not the same thing. Not when no one can hear you. Say which one you meant. They come with hard hats and clipboards. They call it restoration, modernization, updating the bones. You call it something else. They tear out the staircase. Your staircase, the one with the worn third step. The one where you stood the night everything ended for you. And replace it with something open plan. And entirely without memory. Your bedroom becomes a home office. Your favorite chair goes into a skip. Beside broken plaster and old pipes. As if there's no difference between them. You watch your life get demolished. One careful, professional decision at a time. Nobody asks you what you'd like to keep. Nobody knows there's anybody to ask. The decades without conversation. Do something to a person. Even a dead one. You catch yourself talking to dust motes. To the particular slant of afternoon light. To anyone, anything, that might be listening. Then, one evening, a soldier appears in the doorway. Confused. Younger than you, in the way that matters. He doesn't know how he got here. You recognize that feeling immediately. Then a boy. Quiet. Watchful. Then, much later, a former owner. With a gruff voice and gentle eyes. You become, without anyone planning it, a strange sort of household. Not a family exactly. But not nothing, either. You sit together some evenings. And say very little. It is the first time in decades that the silence doesn't feel like punishment. It just feels like company. A camera catches you by accident. A small black box in a doorway corner. Recording everything, understanding nothing. A teenager films herself in the hallway. You happen to be standing behind her. You didn't mean to be in the shot. You rarely mean to be in anything. Within a week, millions of people you will never meet have watched 11 seconds of you. Standing exactly where you've stood for decades. They argue about whether you're real. They make theories. Some of them are almost right. You don't understand the small glowing rectangle that made this happen. You understand even less why it matters so much to people that you exist, when for 80 years nobody wanted to know your name. They come in groups now. Cameras. Equipment that beeps and flashes. People shouting into the dark. Daring you to answer. As if you are a performance. They paid admission to provoke. You are not provoked. You are tired. Tourists take photographs on the staircase. They laugh. They pose. Someone puts up a small plaque. With your death reduced to a single factual sentence. The way you'd label an old vase. Your tragedy has become a Tuesday afternoon activity. For people who will forget they came here. By the time they reach the car park. You used to want to be seen. You are learning, slowly, that being seen and being known are not the same thing at all. The machines arrive on a grey Tuesday. You stand in the garden and watch them approach. The way you'd watch whether you couldn't outrun. The house comes down in pieces. Brick. Timber. Glass. 100 years of standing. Reduced to dust in an afternoon. You feel yourself going with it. Flickering. Thinning. Whatever has kept you tethered here is being hauled away in a skip. Right in front of you. You think, this is it. This is the end of the end. And then, the dust settles. And you are still here. Not in the rubble. Beside the one thing that was never part of the house at all. The oak tree. Still standing. Untouched. You were never anchored to the walls. You were anchored to something that was alive. The whole time you were dead. You just never thought to look at it. Until everything else was gone. They move the tree. Some council decision, some preservation order. You don't fully understand the reasoning. Only the result. A crane, a careful root ball. And suddenly you are standing in the middle of a public park. Instead of the ruins of a house. It is, strangely, easier here. No gate. No invisible wall. Just open grass and a tree. That somehow carried you with it. But Christmas still finds you. Every December, families walk past with shopping bags and bright coats. And you think of holidays that happened a century ago, with people whose faces you have to work harder every year to remember. Birthdays pass unmarked. Yours. Everyone's you ever knew. Time still matters to you. That is the strange cruelty of it. You are dead, and time still matters. Maybe it always will. An elderly woman walks slowly down the path one afternoon. Cane in hand. Silver hair. She stops beneath the oak tree. The way someone stops when a place suddenly feels significant, for reasons they can't immediately name. She looks up at the tree. Then she looks at you. You go very still. She reaches into her coat and pulls out an old photograph, soft at the corners from being carried a long time. A young woman in a 1920s dress, laughing on a staircase that no longer exists. She looks at the photograph. She looks at you. She says, "Delano?" 80 years. 80 years since a small girl waved at you instead of running. 80 years of being a rumor, a sign on a gate, a flicker on a phone screen, a fact on a plaque. And now, your actual name. Spoken out loud. By the one person who never forgot it. You don't know what happens to a ghost when they are finally, completely seen. You are about to find out. And for the first time in 100 years, you are not afraid of the answer.